Welcome to Frontline Story with Carolyn and Tori. This week we have Jennifer Karaski with the Southwest Nebraska Lost Team with us. And this is all because September is Suicide Awareness Month. So welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about the important work the Southwest Nebraska Lost Team has done, because it sounds like about 5 years you've been in operation.
We have already. It doesn't seem possible, but for 5 years we've been working with those who have lost loved ones to suicide. The easiest way to explain what the Lost Team does is we are a rapid response team that can respond to a completed suicide. We're able to help those left behind with anything from next of kin notification, funeral arrangements, anything that they need to get supported and make sure that they have that support around them. And then the nice thing about the Lost Teams is we are made up of people here in the community. So they're people that you see out and about all the time. We are also then able to follow up with those left behind after everything kind of dies down and life returns to normal, so to speak. That allows us to be able to keep that connection going.
Mm-hmm. Wow, yeah, I mean, and that's great. Some volunteers
Yep.
that are really ready to be on the spot and surround that family when they are in a very crisis situation.
Absolutely.
And just really don't know where to turn next. So,
And the nice thing about our volunteers is all of my current team, everybody has already lost someone. So we've been through that chaos and we know how that feels. And unfortunately, unless you've lost someone, you really don't get it. So we're able to give that support and that resource that most people can't.
So really, you're people with lived experience, and
Yeah.
that's how you yourself got involved then.
It was. I lost my brother back in '98 to what we now know as PTSD. He was a first responder, so that community is very near and dear to me. And unfortunately, he didn't have a lot of resources. So it's important for me to make sure that everybody knows that they're not alone in their struggles and that there are resources available to help.
Right, yeah. Well, and you know, suicide awareness is, well, it involves a lot of things, doesn't it?
It's made up a lot of different avenues and different things that people can explore, but when you break it down to its simplest form, it truly is simply about connections, and it's about making sure that people feel connected and valued and loved. And a lot of people say suicide prevention can't be that easy, but it truly is that easy. It's because when people have those connections, they have hope, and when people have hope, they don't end their life.
Right, right.
So
Okay.
when you break it down to its easiest, simplest form, it truly is simply about connections.
Well, great, yeah. And you know, just having those connections, really, when you start seeing these posters, be kind,
Yep.
you know, maybe that's
It's that simple.
that's the huge message.
I always end all of my trainings with be a decent human being. And that's, if we were all be decent human beings to each other, the world would definitely be in a better place.
Now, are there stats in our community that probably people are not aware of when it comes to suicide?
It's really hard with suicide because so many times it's reported differently, like as an accidental death or accidental overdose, those types of things. So many times the numbers don't accurately reflect the true numbers of losses, but there are numbers available depending on which agency you go to. Sometimes they differ. But the important thing to remember is that each one of those statistics represents somebody's mother or father, brother, sister, you know, their loved ones. And so it's easy to concentrate specifically on numbers, but when you equate those numbers to human beings, people tend to make a little bit more notice and pay a little bit more attention to it.
Right. Well, and especially since your Lost Team members have been in that spot,
Yeah.
they know the pain, and they really realize that
Unfortunately,
family
yeah.
needs that support. So, anything else you'd like to tell us about suicide prevention and suicide awareness?
Definitely that even though September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, it's important that we keep this going all year round. We know that we have losses year round, so even though there's such a kind of a spotlight, if you will, on September, we need to keep these conversations going year round, and we need to keep talking and talking more and talking some more about it.
Right.
Because when we have those conversations, the stigma around mental health and suicide decreases. And when we get rid of that stigma, more people will be more comfortable with reaching out for help sooner, and we can reach them before they reach that crisis point.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks for being here. And is there a way people can help out the Lost Team?
Absolutely. You can reach out to myself. The information will be, I believe, below. And then I'm happy to set up any sort of trainings. I have all kinds of different free resources that I can give to people. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to tailor whatever anybody needs to make it work for their organization.
Well, super. Okay, well,
I
thank you,
appreciate you
Jennifer.
having me. Thank you so much.